Welcome. This is Super Metroid Map Rando Multicategory Tournament. This is a silver bracket match against Idol and Supersponge. My name is Hachi, and I have Crepes here on tracking. We're going to be starting with double suit, so we get Varia as well as Gravity to start. Okay, interesting start here, but of course with double suit, this is pretty trivial. So, while they're traversing rising tides, I think one thing to point out is that as the higher seed here, Supersponge chose first and chose he chose to veto, and he vetoed no objectives, and Idle vetoed space jump, and Idle vetoed Metroids. So double suit, Varia plus movement, and Gravity 9 plus 1 are the remaining categories. It will be Supersponge's pick for game 2. Oh, sorry, did I say veto space jump? No, you vetoed no objectives and Metroids. So right now, both runners are probably thinking about where Morph is. Seems like... Yeah, it seems like logical progression would be this way. That would... It's very unfortunate to find Croc there. Obviously not in logic with no charge or ammo to beat him with. So it looks like they'll be doing the climb. Mount Everest, and we see a map that looks pretty close but might be deceptively far. Let's see. Yes, that would be pretty hard to get to because you're going to need Morph to get through West Ocean. So while the hunt for Morph is on, I guess I can say exclamation R and exclamation C in the chat are for finding the runners and commentators respectively. You can also do exclamation SMRMC for information about the tournament. And it kind of looks like, I don't know if that link has the silver bracket on it as well. There's a link to the silver bracket on that. Okay, Supersponge has found his way into Meridia. And I believe Idol has found his way into Torian. Speed lock, so Idle has to turn around. Is not happy to see that. So with Gravity, Varia, and Space Jump, there's quite a lot of movement you can do to get around. Since their last logical progression was Screw Attack, and Screw Attack let them get through to Climb, I'm not sure where they have to go next, but again, the hunt right now is where is Morph. It's going to unlock a lot of the world for these runners. Okay, Super Missiles. And Missiles for Super Sponge. That could be the next logical progression. Don't recall if there was a missile or super lock door anywhere, though. Ah, well, there's one right there. But it is speed locked. So right now, Super Sponge is a little bit ahead, at least in exploring Meridia. I didn't see if he dipped into Torian, but Idle does have some of that Torian knowledge, at least to know that it's a speed lock. And he's closely following in Super Sponge's footsteps. Well, Three Musketeers would be in logic with Screw Attack. It's like Super Sponge is now exploring Torian. He's about to find the same exact speed lock. And he runs back through the speed room. So final door in Mount Everest here, but locked by Morph. Thank you, WX fan. Big fan of yours. Okay, Idle finding that missile and super missile. Happy to see that. Here's a missile door that they passed over. So, but once again, locked by Morph. Yes, Idle is being quite open with how he does not like this seed so far, and sees another speed lock, and is visibly unhappy with that. So Super Sponge has gone all the way back to Norfair, where they started, and is searching for Morph here. The seed could have wanted you to go all the way to get those missiles and then come back. And we'll see what he finds. So far hasn't been blocked yet. Oh, I see Idle is in Firefleas. Just a missile. And another morph block that Super Sponge found in, what is this, Single Chamber? I'm not too good with all the names. Charge Beam. Okay, that's very interesting. Nope, needs morph. But I believe they saw Croc earlier, so that would put Croc into logic. And it would be very funny if Croc was hiding Morph. So I think Supersponge may be thinking that, heading back pretty quickly. Idle staring at the map, trying to figure out if he's gone everywhere he can in Meridia. Yeah, and I will say I've watched quite a lot of these, and whenever you find Charge this early when you found Croc, it's usually Croc. Supersponge did seem to remember that, and he will be going to do this Croc fight. So Idle seems to be going back as well. Let's see if he follows in Supersponge's footsteps to go get Charge, and then realize he's got to go to Croc. Good fight from Supersponge. Goodbye, Croc. And it's Speed Booster. Okay. So that's very interesting, because we have seen, I think, 2, maybe 3 speed locks. So that is for sure their next logical progression. And this has been a fun seed. It is really trying to get them to backtrack a lot. So I believe the first speed lock was Torian, and there was another speed lock in the Climb Supers room. Although you can't get out of that, so that's probably not the right way to go. Oh, and Supersponge has found Criteria. Which, for those who don't know, because this is a random start, the ship is always in Criteria, and needed to find a ship to finish the game. So, getting the Criteria map can be very, very helpful, even if there are no bosses or majors here, just so you can find the ship. And Idle is flabbergasted by all of the morph locks that he's found. But what we know, and that he doesn't, is that he's just found his next logical progression, although he doesn't seem to realize it just yet. Yep, another morph lock, and Agony. Supersponge has blinded his way into Dragon. Probably not going to be attempting that fight, even though he has gravity, because that is pretty rough with 5 and 5. Seems like Idle does. He is at least heading back to where Croc is, so he may have realized it. Meanwhile, Supersponge is still blinded through Criteria, probably going for the map, but I didn't see where it was. Yes, heading towards the map. Okay, Idle has indeed realized it, and is going to fight Croc, where he'll find his speed booster. Although I have to say, Supersponge hasn't used his speed booster yet. Or maybe I missed that to get to criteria. Well, their speed. And power bombs. But of course, they don't have morph. Idle, not happy that that is not morph. And Supersponge needs to be careful there. You can do that, it is in logic, but you can easily soft lock yourself. Save at the ship is not bad, of course. This may become a Nevdi morph seed. Yeah, it's a good point by Crepes. Supersponge has so far not elected to go back to one of the speed blocks, which is likely to be the next progression, whereas Idle seems to be doing that. So this route divergence may help Idle catch up a bit. He's still just a little bit behind in terms of getting items. Yeah, so while Sponge has not found any items out of this, getting ship information is good. It's just that it's not necessarily helping him out right now. And Idle has gone back to Torian to go through that speed lock, finding Coliseum here. He did find Trey as well, that is good information. That's going to help him with routing decisions later on. Bombs for Supersponge, blinded, but of course, not quite useful without morph. Missiles. Very likely not what Supersponge wanted to see at a dead end. Yeah, he's checking the map now. He seems to be thinking about what his next step should be. Late morph is fun. I actually truly enjoy seeds where the logic just doesn't let you go, it makes you think. And this has certainly been one of them. A lot of backtracking, a lot of making sure you remember the rooms you just saw. It's more likely than you think, Tickles. I see, that's a bit of a troll map on the... for the Torian map for Idle. And this could be Fantoon here. We will see. It is not. So Idle does get the map and is rewarded with potentially Morph. Up there on the left in... don't know what that room's called, but it's the one with the Chozo statue. See, wreck ship connector and nothing else, so it looks like Torian is at near the top of the world. And Supersponge, meanwhile, has been going back to Norfair. I think after looking at the map, he realizes he's got to go back to one of those speed locks. Idle taking the reset there just to save some time for backtracking. And Supersponge presumably heading up towards Torian. Oh, was he? I did not see that. Yeah, so chat is saying Idle was soft locked there. Ah, right, morph locked. Yes. Okay, so Supersponge is now tracing Idle's steps, so besides some information that he doesn't have, Idle seems to be strictly ahead with the map. Supersponge goes right. Maybe going back for left, and we will see if he gets Blind's Morph before Idle does. We are holding chat. It is Morph Ball. Okay, what a journey this seed has taken us on. We should all be so lucky as to play seeds like this. Okay, so Supersponge firmly in the lead here with Morph. This unlocks quite a lot of things, and the only thing he's missing out of Torian is knowledge of that wreck ship connection, which he just blinded into. So I didn't know. Idle picked up power bombs from GT. Those would be in logic with Space Jump, so those are likely the logical power bombs. First logical, at least. And Idle gets Morph. Yep. Relieved to see that. Ah, Sponge does have bombs. That is a good point. I think we missed that. Blinded in Criteria. I don't believe he reset that. Another pack of power bombs there. That's pretty good. Okay, so Idol has gone around in Wreck Ship and found Big Pink as a reward. So he gets, with Power Bombs, 3 items. Missile. Another missile. Bowling, not particularly a good find. And Supersponge, going through the other Norfair entrance in Torian, has now found Aqueduct and is going to attempt the snail clip here, which is out of logic, and is rewarded with Spazer and Supers. So Supersponge is getting pretty close to go mode here. Beam damage is not that good, but with charge and 15 supers, he could beat the game if he wanted to. Depends on how the Ridley fight would go for him. Oh, those... yeah, sorry, chat corrects me. They have speed booster, so of course those items are in logic. Oh, and yeah, Idol... Yep, okay, he does realize it. Reverse Amphitheater for Supersponge to get back to Climb. So Idol is really gambling on the map having something here because this is annoying to say the least. Okay, we've got Kraid in Norfair. No other bosses, and I think absolutely nothing in Wreck Ship. So that is quite unfortunate, spending the time going through Wreck Ship. It was one of those things in map randos. Idol didn't necessarily do anything wrong, but he made a gamble and it did not pay off for him. So you'll have to backtrack out of here. He may try and... I don't believe there's anything on the way in terms of E-tanks or X's. So he may try and get out of there immediately back through Mickey Mouse. Meanwhile, Supersponge has gotten the Norfair map and is now back at West Ocean, which is of course doable now that he has bombs and morph. And third item in Big Pink was a missile. That is pretty tragic. Okay, that is 20 supers for Supersponge, and let's see if this is a beam. High jump. Very good item to have for quality of life, but not necessarily that good with space jump. So he was probably hoping for a beam there. Because at this point, the only thing Supersponge really needs is to find bosses, maybe a couple more E-tanks, and some more beam damage to make boss fights easier. But yeah, it's a good point by Tickles and Chad is that the Ridley fight really is a lot easier with high jump. If you don't have to wall jump around him with E-swoops. So Super Sponge is electing to collect these missiles. I think he's, at this point, despite having charge, he's thinking an ammo fight is likely easier. So technically this is enough ammo to kill Ridley. It is not quite enough to kill Mother Brain, I don't think. Can't quite do the math with breaking the tank. Meanwhile, Idle has also just gotten the Norfair map and sees Kraid there. A couple of majors, or a major in Mama Turtle, and I believe there's a Brinstar connection at the bottom right. So right, while Super Sponge does have speed so he can Zeb skip, there is a chance that Mother Brain is in a location where you can't short charge or regular charge and Shine Spark through. So Super Sponge would need to either find ice or find a way to farm. So I'm curious, leaving Kraid is... I don't know how far away he was, but that seems... That's an interesting play, because he's an easy boss to kill, and you don't necessarily know where Mother Brain is. But this could work out in Super Sponge's favor if Meridia has all the bosses and Mother Brain is in Brinstar. That is also true. With charge, technically you can beat Mother Brain, but Spazer is 30 damage? Or 90 with charge? Ah, okay, there is Mother Brain. So that is not quite what Super Sponge wanted to see most likely, because now there's a backtrack to Kraid. So I believe the only maps we haven't seen are Criteria and Meridia, and we haven't seen anything of Brinstar yet. So still a lot of bosses to find. Only Kraid and Dragon, found so far. Dragon is in Criteria. Nice first try from Super Sponge on that gate glitch. Okay, a right map here, so this is not Fantoon. Ridley could still be a Meridia, though. And he's not. So, remaining bosses are either in Criteria or Brinstar. Idle making the same play towards Meridia, which is what we now know not the best thing to do at this point. That is true. Super Sponge could elect to get some of these majors. I'm not sure if he will with 45 and 30 and charge, but for doing bosses, having a good beam combo does just make things more comfier. You have a lot more latitude with missing. There's also the chance that you pick up Grapple, which would be nice for Dragon. Little high five there, I think. Almost, at least. Supersponge is now trying to figure out his endgame route here. So I don't believe we've seen the criteria map, and I don't remember if it was a right or left map. So Fantoon and Ridley could be in criteria, I believe. It's also worth noting that at this point the loadout between the two runners has diverged a bit, with Idle having 35 and 10. So he is much more incentivized to look for majors once he gets the Meridia map, and we may get to see what they are. And he also does not have Spazer. Okay, so Supersponge has decided to go for criteria first. Oh, we did see the criteria map. So that cannot be Fantoon because there's no right door. So Fantoon is in Brinstar. What a fun seed. Well, except for Wreck Ship being disappointing. So Idle definitely looking at those majors there. Trying to think how long it would take to get them. Just Dragon. So, both Ridley and Fantoon are in Brinstar. Dragon in Criteria, Kraid in Norfair, Mother Brain in Meridia. No boss is killed by either runner yet, but Supersponge does have all of the information to know where all the bosses are. Not exactly where Fantoon, well, he'll know where Fantoon is based on the map, but not exactly where Ridley is, but still knowing that Ridley is in Brinstar is valuable. And yes, Idle did find X-Ray, almost certainly what he did not want to see, unless he happens to find Plasma as one of these other ones. Still, I bet he would have hoped that was a better beam. Or, well, a beam at all. Skipping the major at Lava Dive. Maybe skipping the rest of the majors. It's an interesting choice. Or just going for this X. Okay, skipping. I don't know that I would have done that. Yeah, that's a big risk. Because I think at this point we know that's either Spring Ball, Grapple, or a Beam. And so really only Spring Ball would be bad there, considering he hasn't fought Dragon yet. Plasma, okay. That is, that's very good. You can see he's quite pleased with that. So that solves Idle's ammo issues. With 35 and 15 and Plasma, that should make both Ridley and Mother Brain not so bad. Super Sponge on Dragon right now will have to take her out with ammo because he does not have Grapple. But plenty of ammo to do so. Although it does have speed, I keep forgetting that, so it could have sparked, but very easy ammo kill with that much. So Super Sponge heading back to Norfair, likely to kill Kraid, then go to Brinstar, then finish up by going back to Meridia. Idle may be going for Kraid here. Yes. So remember, Idle does not have Criteria knowledge. I don't believe he ever even stepped into Criteria. So he does not know where the rest of the bosses are. It is not necessarily a bad play to go to Criteria, but he will likely try for Brinstar given how close it is. And both runners might be fighting Kraid at almost the exact same time. Have fun. Good quick kill by Idle. Yeah, so given that Idle has Plasma, Phaser is probably besides Spring Ball the one he wanted to see the least. I don't think he picked that up, Crepes. I think he skillfully dodged it. Metroid Room 4 here. Can tank this with the health he has, but gonna reset the room. Yeah, and it does seem like he is going for Brinstar. gonna... Sorry, I didn't quite see the map. Is there a connection through the... Okay, Supersponge into... Oh, there is a connection through the sandpits. Supersponge into Brinstar now. Likely gonna make a beeline towards the map, because that's just where Fantoon is. Idol's gonna have to farm up a little bit of health here to be safe. But 1+1 is not really too bad, so he should be fine. A little bit of a troll map here. That is logically a one-way, but there has to be a way back, so... Let's see if Idol takes that path or tries to get through Parlor a different way. Yep, that's it. That is a troll map. Although you likely could have deduced that Croc Speedway likely did not lead to the map. Ah. Botwoon locked. Interesting. Idol electing for the X-ray kill here. Very easy, nice fight. Okay, and Fantoon. Idol does not know it's Fantoon, but Fantoon will be at the top right there. He is happy to see that, though. And of course, we know he has Microwave Beam, so he is almost certainly going to do that on Fantoon, making it an easy fight. Meanwhile, Supersponge has to go back through Croc Speedway. He's a little lost. Does get that spark. And Idol does get the microwave kill. Easy clap. Supersponge is going to have to do a supers fight here on Botwoon. Plenty of supers to do so. And there is Ridley. So Idol does have the ammo for Ridley, and of course has Charge Plasma. So no need to hesitate going for that boss. Might elect and farm right next to Ridley. Wow. That is quite good. So he's not even gonna attempt to check those. Okay, well he attempted to check this X, and it's a power bomb. Meanwhile, Super Sponge on Vantoon, while Idle's doing Ridley. Good kill by Super Sponge. So with Charged Plasma, that should be 40 shots. I have not been counting. More than likely, Idle's going to wait till Ridley turns red, at which case we know his health is halfway gone, and then you can just dump supers into him. It will be 15 supers after he turns red. Super Sponge now has the map and is going to immediately go towards Ridley as well. May check that major just to see if it's Plasma or some other beam. May elect not to, given his ammo and the fact that he has speed. Ridley not quite dead yet. $35th super pack for Super Sponge. And an insanely convenient farm. Okay, that's Ridley down by Idle. So Idle still has to go check criteria, and does not have the knowledge of where Mother Brain is. Grapple Beam. That is a little unfortunate. Not what Super Sponge wanted to see there, but that's okay. It was an easy check, and on to Ridley. And he will check this last X, and be disappointed. Idle checking as well, finding grapple. That will help him with Dragon, though. So this will be a very comfortable fight for Super Sponge, given the amount of ammo that he has. He can miss 5 supers and... well, there he goes. He can miss 3 supers now. Okay, he can miss 0 supers now. Put some missiles in. Oh, yeah, that's true. Idle does have Charged Plasma X-Ray, so that will be the quicker kill on Dragon. Although personally, I think the grapple kill is cooler because it is developer intended. So Idle looking at the map, and is going to have to make a choice of whether to go to Criteria or Meridia. So we know the answer he wants is Criteria. But we'll see what he chooses to do. Meanwhile, Super Sponge, having just beaten Ridley, is done with all of the done with all the bosses, and is going to be heading back to Meridia to fight Mother Brain. And this farm right here is crucial, because he will need those, with just charged Spazer, he is going to need those super missiles to kill Mother Brain. And I don't know if anyone saw if there's a runway before Mother Brain. Can we do a Zeb skip? I suppose we'll find out. They do have speed, so they could Zeb skip, but I just didn't see if there was a runway before Mother Brain. Oh, crab hole. Yes, that is true. So, not, even if there is a way to shine Spark, it would not be very fun. Now, it would be very interesting if that last major at Lava Dive was ice. So I think what we have left is Spring Ball, Ice Wave. I believe those are the three majors we haven't seen yet. And Idol has unknowingly made the correct choice to go to Criteria. Might blind... I think Dragon was around here, so might blind Dragon, but will still likely go for the mat first. So Supersponge rapidly making his way towards Mother Brain. Full ammo right now, so nothing he really needs to do. Again, could check that last major just to see if it's ice, but not likely to do that, not in a race situation. So Supersponge is likely going to break the glass here completely with missiles and then turn around to... okay, or not. So he's going to kill Mother Brain here, and with 27 supers, that would be 1,800 damage left, which would be around 20 shots with Spazer, something like that. So you're gonna see him most likely maybe try and count the number of shots, maybe just put 50 in and then dump with supers. So picking up that last missile pack actually really did matter there for Supersponge. And WX Fan here was earlier and we're a little late, but it's time to everyone's favorite game of guess what the escape is. So we've got to go Meridia, Norfair to Criteria. And it was a bit of a haul. So I'm going to guess about, around 2 minutes. 2:05. A minute 69 is actually very close. So, with Dragon down, Idle is heading back to Meridia, which he now knows holds Mother Brain. Something has to go drastically wrong for Supersponge at this point. I don't think that's going to happen. But it is not over until Samus is on the ship. Funny, there's likely to be a high five at this point because they are essentially taking each other's routes from the opposite end. So this is game 1. Game 2 and game 3 are not tonight, they are at another time. I am not actually sure when that is scheduled. Looks to be May 2nd and May 2nd and May 3rd at the same time, around 8 p.m. So that is tomorrow and Saturday. Unfortunately, I will not be able to comms for that. But the remaining modes are Varia plus Movement and Gravity 9 plus 1. Since they vetoed Metroids and no objectives. And Supersponge entering the ship room with 40 seconds to spare. And he will finish first with an official race time of 1 hour, 2 minutes, 31 seconds. And I believe Idle is... It looks like he has seen that the race is over. Yes, he now has. So given that this is only game 1, I don't actually know if there is going to be an interview after this, but I would certainly love to ask them what they thought about that early game. Looks like we do have Supersponge potentially joining us. I think Idle is electing to finish out the seed. So a little bit of a different fight here with Charged Plasma. That's going to be about 40 shots. You could supplement that with some missiles, but it'll really only reduce it by about 4 shots, roughly. So, for those in chat, we are trying to see if we're getting Supersponge in here. I am not sure if there's anything after this race on SpeedGaming 2. But Idle is on the escape now. So either way, it'll be over in about 1 minute and 30 seconds.
Hello?
Hello, we are joined by Supersponge.
Oh boy, what a start that was.
Yeah, that is probably the first question I was going to ask you is, what did you think about that logic at the beginning?
I felt almost betrayed by the logic in that there wasn't a whole lot stopping me going the wrong way. Usually there's power bomb door or just a room with a little tunnel in it. Of course, they put one right by the map in Criteria. That was great. I'm glad they did that. Whoever the little logic gremlins are, but yeah, I was surprised. I thought for sure I was going the right way, heading down to Criteria, because it was all blue doors, no tunnels, not a whole lot at least. But yeah, getting to the ship and hitting a dead end kind of sucked.
Yeah, and I think, what was it? It was screw attack into missiles, into charge beam, into speed,
Yep.
into
And-
morph.
And yeah, the entrance to Torian there is that the Cora room where you speed booster up
Yes.
there.
Yeah.
I
I found.
I thought I thought about it. I was like that seems like the way to go, or logically that's probably where it wants me to go. But I'll kind of press on where I am now, see what I can get if there's something else that I'd be leaving behind. And it just kind of kept going and going and going. So I figured this must be the right way. I felt baited a little bit by it.
You did, but one thing that helped you out of, because Idle elected not to go to, I believe Idle explored Meridia a bit earlier than you did, and so you were blinding things in Criteria, while Idle was trying to blind things in Meridia, and I think one of the bigger differences is you ended up with more super missiles than Idle had, which really helped you out in the later game, I think.
I was wondering if that was gonna kind of shape it. Didn't know if Idle managed to get any beams or not. I was hoping
He
for
did.
ice at least.
Right, he did manage to get Plasma, so that was one of the bigger differences between you guys. Is I believe Plasma was one of those majors in Meridia that you elected to skip because at that point I think you were like 45 and 30. So
Yep.
yeah, it was probably the right play by you to skip those, because it allowed you to get to the end a little bit faster.
Yeah, that was close.
It was, but I think your mid-game routing plus getting those supers earlier really turned the tide there. And so another thing I think is you skipped Wreck Ship. Idle did not. Yeah, but
Wreck claims another.
Wreck Ship had absolutely nothing in it. It was a little unfortunate. So that also allowed you to get a couple minutes ahead. But it was quite a close match there for quite a while.
The routing mid game, like once I finally got Morph, it seemed really difficult to choose what might be the right way to go, because it just felt like there were because of Dragon back in Criteria. I saw Kraid in is that Norfair? Yeah, but also I was like, I didn't want to go get Kraid until I wanted to go back to Torian and then check out Brinstar, but I was hoping for a little more, grapple beam or plasma to really make Dragon quick and easy. But yeah, it felt a little difficult to choose what was the right thing to do in this seed. A little tricky.
It was, and so what were you... When you did go to Meridia, you sort of made the choice to go there over Brinstar, I believe. What were you feeling when you saw Mother Brain there and realizing that, bosses were in a different location?
Worst case scenario.
Yeah.
Is exactly what I didn't want to see, and figured, oh boy, that's not good.
So I believe Idle is now joining us. Yes. So we have Idle here.
Hey, I was just catching a little bit of that. Like, it sounds like we made the same decision to go to Meridia before a couple other areas, and both like face palmed at seeing the Turian, not even a boss, just Turian.
Like, yeah. So one of the bigger divergences, I think, is actually you spent a little more time in Meridia. Supersponge actually went to Criteria early and gained some knowledge there. But unfortunately, your trip into Wreck Ship, given that there was nothing there, sort of turned the tide a little bit.
Next time, I don't regret that. And I remember at Turian, like when we found Turian, I was like, well, I hope at least like Plasma's here, like, because if I can't find anything with these majors either, I'm just going to be so far behind. But finding the Plasma made me feel a little better that, okay, at least I can kill all the bosses quickly now.
Yeah, you did have quicker boss fights because Supersponge did not have plasma. What he did have, though, was 35 super missiles.
Yeah,
Those,
you end up finding enough supers that you don't really need plasma. It certainly helps. Not having to worry about ammo really.
So, Idle, we already asked Supersponge this, but what were your thoughts on the early game logic?
At least I could read it. I'm like, okay, I guess. I was kind of annoyed when I first found that energy tank and then the speed locked hallway, thinking, oh shoot, I was supposed to find speed booster probably like a few rooms over and then come back here. But then the logic ended up being so twisty and turny. It's like, oh, okay, no, nobody did Grok first. I think everybody goes and gets their charge after they go and get their missiles. It's just going to be a slog.
Yeah, and that was.
But I was worried that
Worf
was just in some random room, like that I hadn't gotten to yet, because there were a lot of places you could go early. They were all kind of flung different directions.
Yeah, it was, I have to say, very entertaining to watch, but you guys did figure out the logic eventually.
Yeah, I was just surprised.
Oh, good about this one. I wanted to have it be somewhat competitive. This probably wasn't quite close enough to keep the outcome in doubt, but I think I only paused for 6 minutes, which is probably a best for me. I don't watch what my pause time is every time, but I didn't need to pause at all in the escape. I thought that did well.
Again, I think a lot of the difference did come down to your time in wreck ship, which I didn't see how much time you spent in there.
It probably wasn't more than 6 minutes.
No, but you were very close otherwise. So it really was a competitive match until the route divergence towards the end, or towards the middle, excuse me.
Yeah, I imagine that I lost at least 3-4 minutes there in wreck ship, and then probably just lost a few minutes in pause time too. As I'm happy with 6 minutes. Sponge, do you remember what your pause time was?
I forgot to check.
Okay, it was probably less than 6 minutes.
Probably. I paused a lot though, but yeah, I'm not sure.
So, last question that I wanted to ask is, Idle, when you first found the Meridia map, given I think you had like 20 and 10 at that point, you decided to skip those majors in Meridia, especially the one that was very close past Lava Dive. Is there any reason that you did that?
I might just now wanted to do the Lava Dive. Was that a Lava Dive? I think I might have thought it was Amphitheater.
It was Lava Dive.
I don't want to do Amphitheater, but maybe I might have just misread my map there, thinking that was not as close as.
Okay, we were wondering.
It's very possible. I just didn't see that was a close major. What was that one then?
We don't know. That's the chat curiosity. Is what could have that major been? Because neither of you found ice. So
I was just going to say the only thing that would have probably helped is ice, and really just because of that one Metroid's room that I kind of got stuck on.
Right. That and the Zeb skips.
I couldn't super that door, and I'm like, oh shoot! And then I'd take like the long way. I spent like a whole minute navigating around that just because I was afraid I was going to die if I tried that room again. Whereas if I'd gone in just committed to power bombing the Metroids, I would have been able to do that just fine. But I wasn't planning on that.
But yeah, the only majors left were Ice Wave and Spring Ball, I believe. Because X-Ray was up there at the top of Meridia.
Let's find out.
Well, I didn't really have too much else to say. Thanks for doing the commentary tracking. Thanks, SpeedGaming, for hosting it. It's going to be fun to watch this back. Sounds like the early part of the race was particularly entertaining, so that's going to be fun.
It was very entertaining. You both played it. You both played a tough logic seed well. But yes, it was very entertaining. So I don't think we're gonna get kicked off. But I don't quite know if we have time to watch Sponge go all the way for that major just to check what it is.
I'm in Lava Dive right now.
Oh, okay. We can.
Yeah. Just
right. We have
I'd like to thank the community, and
yeah.
It's ice. Oh man.
Oh, well.
So it goes.
Yeah. Well, thanks for checking. But yeah, great race, both of you. Like I said, you both played a very hard early game very well, eventually figuring out the logic, despite all the logic's best effort to trick you.
Yeah.
And so I believe your game 2 is going to be tomorrow. It is Supersponge's pick. So I don't know if you want to spoil that now or wait till tomorrow to do that. But I believe we
I'll
can
go
wait
ahead
till
and wait.
tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure.
But you got I'm sorry, not double suit. You have Gravity 9+1 and Varia plus Move It left. So everyone be sure to tune in tomorrow for game 2, and thanks for letting me commentate. My name's Hachi, and we had Crepes on tracking, and yeah, I think that's it.
You know, I'm remembering now that I see who this major is. I was going to get this major if Plasma wasn't where it was. Once I found Plasma, I thought, okay, that's good enough. I'll go with this.
Fair enough.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, GG's. Look forward to the match tomorrow.